Everybody, good evening. It's Cutler here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, and I could hardly wait to get here this evening. It's already the 9th of November. It's Tuesday, and if you're just passing by my channel for the first time, do me a favor, stop. I only need 1,800 seconds. I promise you that's all I need. This channel is about motivation. It's about inspiration. It's about challenging us to show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. It doesn't mean today was bad. It doesn't mean that today was a loss. It doesn't mean that today was a flop. It means that we're taking time here at the end of the day to do some introspection and see what can I look at, what can I do, what can I take away from today that would catapult me into an even better and even greater tomorrow. And we do that by reading from this book right here, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. This book is available over on Amazon. You don't need it to join the conversation, but I promise you it helps. So I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, and you all know what we usually do. I usually open with a probing thought, something to get you thinking, and so you get an opportunity to see where we're going. And so tonight is going to be no different. But I want to ask you, I've been dealing with this quote that one of you sent me for almost a week. I've been dealing with it, and I want to talk about that quote in just a moment, because the quote says that why are we so busy trying to fit in when we were designed to stand out? You all know I really want to talk about that. So my opening conversation with us this evening is to just remind us I can only be me. All other slots are filled. And I want to talk about and ask you, who told you that you didn't matter? Who told you that you weren't enough? Who downplayed your wealth? And then I want to know, why did you believe? And we're going to talk about all of that. And we're going to talk about those LTTC VIPs, those who are here in the chat ready to talk. But I'm telling you, we're going to hang on, because we're really going to talk about some stuff tonight. All right. Listen, I'm only for 1,800 seconds. So I'll tell you what I want to do. You go ahead and tell some other people to come on. Let's talk to Cutler. I'll be right back. And we're going to talk from the subject, I can only be me. I can only be me. I will be right back after this.
Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
All right, I'm back here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, so Let's Talk to Cutler program. If you're scrolling by for the first time, do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe and then click on the notification bell. It just lets you know whenever I've gone live, whenever I've uploaded new content. And as you're coming to the conversation, do me another favor, if you will. Go ahead and do a thumbs up right there. You'll check and do a thumbs up. Do a thumbs up on the conversation, because it says to YouTube, I like what that guy's talking about, but it also says to me that you are encouraged by our conversations. You all, I have been really hanging on to this particular quote, and I just could not wait to get here. You see, my artwork that you typically see is not behind me, because I'm not in the same space, so I'm in a different room. But I could not wait for this conversation, because the notion that so many of us are trying to be somebody else. So not even necessarily trying to be somebody else. A lot of times we say that, and it's not about trying to be somebody else. It's just that we're not trying to be ourselves. And so I want to talk about that as I go to this quote. You all know what we usually do. On Tuesdays, we'll look at a quote from either Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. On Thursday, we'll look at a quote from either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And there's a quote for Saturday, but I always encourage you to take that quote, use it to start a conversation, use it to let it be a part of your meditation, but just do what you want to do with it. But we're reading from this book. Again, you can go on over to Amazon.com and get it. It's my 7th book. You'll be a blessing to me if you get it, but just go ahead and get it, because my goal is that this will be a blessing to you. I want to get through 2 of these quotes. But before I do that, I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs for the evening. They are the people who usually get in the chat first. And so the top 3 people in the chat this evening, Tracy Johnson, who says, hey, everyone, I'm ready for the ride. Tracy, I'm ready for the ride too. Andy Cutler says, get aboard, let's ride. All right, hang on, let's ride. And then my friend Rosella Davis says, good evening. I'm so glad to see all of you all. But again, we're going to talk about this whole notion, you all, of I can only be me. And so I want to start reading. There was a quote for November the 7th. I was going to say, my goodness, December, but a quote for November the 7th. And here's what the quote says. The quote says, take off the mask. Isn't it ironic that we're talking about taking off a mask, and here we are in this pandemic where we're actually wearing masks. But this quote says, take off the mask. God already sees and knows everything. Take off the mask. God already sees and knows everything. One more time, take off the mask. God already sees and knows everything. And what's interesting is that for the past couple of days, you all, I've really been thinking about a quote, like I said, that one of you all sent me. And it really goes along with this particular quote that we're reading tonight. It really complements this particular quote, because this quote in the book is an invitation to stand up and be counted for. It's an invitation to become present. It's an invitation to make yourself known. It's a challenge to stand up and say, I'm here and I matter. It's an inspiration, I hope, to know that you make a difference. You all know I'm really big on self-appreciation, because sometimes we wear this proverbial mask. We wear this proverbial mask just so that we can blend in. But other times I'm very aware of the fact that we wear the mask not just so that we can blend in, but sometimes we wear the mask because we are afraid to be seen. For whatever it means, sometimes we wear the mask because we are intimidated by our own greatness. You know you have greatness in you. And sometimes we are intimidated by it. We're intimidated by our own capabilities. We are intimidated by the potential that we possess. And just perhaps others recognize it. Others recognize it. And if they recognize it, it means that I become accountable for managing it. If they see and recognize my greatness, if they see and recognize my capabilities, if they see and recognize my potential, then guess what? I become responsible and accountable for managing it. And so right out of the gate, my offering to us this evening is the power to manage your greatness. People don't talk like that, you all, but I offer you, my offering tonight is the power to manage your greatness. Sometimes we are comfortable with the norm. We are comfortable with the status quo. We're comfortable with just getting by. We're comfortable with ordinary. But we're never called or designed to be ordinary. Absolutely not. I often think about people and especially children who strive just to fit in, who strive to be accepted, who strive to be like everybody else, but we weren't called to be like everybody else. So my admonition to us tonight, and whether we are young, middle-aged, or older, my admonition to us tonight is stop trying to fit in when you were called to stand out. Stop trying to fit in when you were called to stand out. Be the best at being you. Be who you are. We see children doing this all the time, trying to fit in. And I certainly appreciate the whole notion of having role models. I think that is a wonderful thing. I can appreciate having people that you want to be like. As I was growing up, I think about the fact that I have two older brothers. And when I was growing up, each of them possessed traits and characteristics that I wanted. My oldest brother was physically fit and strong and gifted with charisma. I mean, he could stand in the middle of a crowd and just have the ability to draw people to him. That was my oldest brother. My middle brother was absolutely industrious, and he could build just about anything with his hands. And so there was something about each one of them that I liked and something that I admired. But what I realized was that while we were cut from the same cloth, we were also so very different. So I want to remind us tonight that just because you may have the same experiences as somebody else, but that doesn't mean that you're going to have the same outcome. May I say that again? You might have the same experiences, but that does not mean that you're going to have the same outcome. I challenge us to be okay with being authentic. I challenge us to be okay with being genuine. I challenge us to be okay with being organic, being one of a kind. I challenge us to change our perceptions of who we are. Be one of a kind, be you. I challenge you to change your perceptions of who you see that you are. And I offer us the ability, as this quote says, to remove the mask and be seen. The one who creates us already sees and knows. And it is his desire that we see and know our self-worth. We see and know our self-value. We see and know our purpose. I offer us the power to step outside of ourselves and see the good in us that others sometimes see that we choose not to see in ourselves. Stop. This quote may not be for you, but I trust it may be for someone that you know. Stop walking around being afraid to let people see your greatness. Just stop that. Sometimes we know the good that we possess, but we don't quite know how to manage that. Stop dumbing down your intellect. Stop downplaying your worth and your value. Be okay with being exceptionally excellent. It's okay. Be okay with being priceless and invaluable. And I am not suggesting, those of you who know me and know me well, you know I'm not suggesting at all that any of us walk around pompous with our nose stuck up in the air. I'm not suggesting that we walk around in conceit and arrogance, but neither am I suggesting that you make excuses for what God has taken the time to put inside of you. I'm telling you, don't make excuses for what God has put inside of you. Auntie, my friend, it's so good to see you. And why do I say that, you all? Because I often share these very transparent moments with you all. Take off the mask because the Creator knows what He has invested in you. Don't be afraid of your greatness, of your strength, of your excellence. When I was a child, you all, I was academically gifted. And it used to make me so uncomfortable when people would call me smart. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't know how to handle that. And when I was young, I was keenly aware of my spirituality at a very early age. And it would sometimes make me sad when some of my friends didn't necessarily want to be around me. But what I discovered later, you all, was that what I considered being shunned, they weren't shunning me. It was really their efforts to respect me and to respect the gift that they saw in me that I didn't necessarily see in myself. I remember wanting to fit in so bad that when I was in high school one time, and my mother might remember this, when I was in high school, I remember telling my guidance counselor, take me out of some of those gifted and academically talented courses and put me in the classes with my friends. I did. But as I got older, I realized that I was called to be different, not to fit in, but to stand out. And Cutler, why would you say that? Because it's true about all of us, you all. When I got older, I realized that I was called to be among a peculiar people. I was called to be a part of a royal priesthood. I was called to humble myself before the Creator, but I was also called to be okay with Him exalting me in due time and whatever exalting meant. To be able to own it, to be able to wear it. We were called to be okay with being pushed out front. And I'm telling you all that. Be okay with people recognizing your greatness and be okay that you are called to sometimes be pushed out front. Why, Cutler, would you suggest that we are called to be pushed out front? Sometimes we are pushed out front, you all, so that we can help encourage other young folk, old folk, middle-aged folk who for some reason believed other people when they told them that they had to fit in. Sometimes we are pushed out front so that we can pull others from the back. I told you all one evening that we had an obligation to our brothers and an obligation to our sisters. Might it be that we're called to take off these masks and we're called to be pushed out front so we can pull others from the back. I challenge us tonight, you all. I challenge all of us tonight to stand up and stand out. I challenge us to stand out, because if we don't, you all, if we don't stand out, we will never be able to lead those little boys and girls to the greatness that's calling them. We've got to stand out so that we can lead and model what it's like. If we don't stand out, we will never model for them that better is possible. And I get really emotional about this. We have an obligation to a generation that is to come. We have an obligation to a generation that is to follow. We have an obligation to appreciate the greatness that is within us. Because if we don't stand out, we don't model for them that success and victory are obtainable. We've got to teach them not to believe the lies that we once believed. We've got to stand up so that we can be the shoulders that they stand on, and teach them how to be the shoulders that generations coming after them will stand on. That's just who we are. That's just how it works. So what am I saying tonight? Let's just take off these masks. And I don't mean these masks that we're wearing in the middle of the pandemic, but I mean these proverbial masks that we hide behind because we're afraid for the world to see our greatness no more. We're afraid that the world might see the value within us no more. So my offering is the power to manage your greatness, because it is within us. I offer us the power to manage our greatness and not believe anybody when they tell you that you're not great. Again, don't dumb down your intellect. Don't mask your value, but square your shoulders and walk in the calling that we all have upon our lives. You know, sometimes we hear that and we think that it's so deeply spiritual. But we are just called to reflect the excellence and the majesty and the greatness of the Creator himself. That's a part of what purpose is all about. Sometimes we walk this earth trying to figure out, what is my purpose? My purpose is to reflect the greatness of the Creator while I walk among the creation. That's it. That was poetic. I like that. My calling is to reflect the greatness of the Creator as I walk among the creation. Y'all listen, I only got 1,800 seconds, so I've really got to move on. I've only been on one quote, and it's the quote for November the 7th, but I'm telling you, let's take off these masks. God already sees and he knows everything. All right? The quote for November the 8th says this. Sing. I love the quote for November the 8th. It says, sing even if you can't hit the notes. Just sing and call it a new song. just sing and call it a new song. Auntie, my friend, everybody doesn't have a beautiful voice like you. So for some of us, we just have to be able to sing and just call it a new song, because it's probably going to sound a mess. But what was I thinking when I wrote this? I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking that I wanted to live unapologetically, and I want the same thing for you. I was thinking how I wanted to enjoy every single moment, and I was thinking the same for you. I was thinking about moments like dancing in the rain, and moments like just baking a cake and having random celebrations just because. I was thinking about doing spontaneous, impromptu, and just unorthodox stuff, like celebrating Christmas in the middle of July. I wrote this to remind myself that I always want to be happy. Sing if you can't hit the notes. Always want to be happy. We always should be happy. And more importantly, guess what, you all? We deserve to be happy. So sing. You deserve to be able to laugh. You deserve to be able to dance. You deserve to be able to sing and to savor the magic of every single moment. Why? Because we only go around one time. And you deserve all of that without any interruption, without any interception, without any intrusion from anybody else. I often say to people, don't let other folk interrupt your happy space. Don't let them do it. When you are singing and dancing from a place of joy, don't worry about the notes. Don't worry about the timing or the rhythm, but focus on the exhilaration of celebrating you and who you are. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't sing. Don't let them tell you that you can't dance. I get it. Some of us lack the rhythm that other people have. Some of us lack the perfect pitch that others might have. So we may not necessarily be able to dance like Gregory Hines or Fred Astaire or Debbie Allen. May not be able to dance like any of them. We may not be able to sing like Whitney Houston or Aretha Franklin or Luciano Pavarotti or any of them, but keep on dancing and keep on singing. Because when you finally get to a place and a space, what I call a mountain of happiness, you've got to learn to leave everybody and anybody who's trying to push you down, knock you down, throw you down, or bring you down. Because for some of us, it was a journey trying to get up to that mountaintop of happiness. Some of us, it took time for us to get to that mountaintop of happiness. Some of us worked to get there. And we don't deserve to have anybody try to knock us down. I don't know about you all, but I'm telling you, some of the roads that I had to travel, some of the streets that I had to navigate, some of the paths that I had to meander through, some of the hardships that I had to endure just to get to happiness, no one gets to take that away. Sing even if you can't hit the note. Be happy just because you want to be. Sometimes people are miserable. You all know the saying, misery loves company, and they want you to be miserable too. But let's not fall for that. Let's not, and especially, I often say, as we're getting ready for this holiday season when depression is just lurking out there waiting to just come and pounce on us and attack. Absolutely not. Misery loves company, but misery won't get me. I'm not falling for it. I want you all to learn how to live in your happiness. Because for some of us, we had to endure learning how to manage the darts of people who thought they were going to bring us down, the darts of people who thought they were going to deflate us, the darts of people who tried to injure us just for the sake of jealousy, envy, and strife. But for our own sanity, I know for mine, I've learned to carve out a happy space. In the middle of every negative situation, I've learned to carve out a happy space. And I've learned to be restrictive about who I allow in that space. Because when I go into that space, when I go into that space, it is sacred to me. And if you want to learn how to be happy, absolutely don't let anyone take your happiness, you all. If you want to be happy, stop doing this. Stop comparing yourself with other people. Stop comparing yourself with other people and learn to appreciate what you have and where you are. Be content. You said it, McDina. Be content. Don't let anybody take your happiness. What else do we need to stop doing if we want to be happy? Stop getting psychologically and emotionally stuck where you are. Stop getting stuck. Sometimes we're psychologically and emotionally stuck in places. We've talked about this before. Cutler, give me a reminder. Yes, I will give you a reminder. Think and live outside of the box. Be imaginative, be creative, be daring. Paint on an empty canvas. Clean the slate and start all over again. Don't get psychologically and emotionally stuck. So stop comparing yourself. Stop getting psychologically and emotionally stuck. And then here's another one, y'all. If you want to be happy, stop devoting all of your energy on yesterday. Stop devoting all of your energy on yesterday. Don't forget there's beauty in this moment. Some of us even focus so much on the future, but there is beauty in this moment. I don't want to always live in reflection of yesterday. I don't always want to live in anticipation of tomorrow. There's sometimes when I want to live in the beauty of the moment. What we need to learn how to do is not live in reflection or anticipation, but we need to learn to live in appreciation for the here and the now. You all are saying it. Wonderful. Think more happy thoughts, not negative. Absolutely right. Here is what I suggest that we do at the end of this broadcast, and I may have said this to us in a different conversation before, but I'm telling you, I love singing, I love dancing, I love doing all of that. Just go and find one of your favorite tunes, one of your favorite songs, put that song on and dance and laugh. Why? Simply because you can. Simply because you can. If you all tell me some of your favorite songs, because I think I might have to put some of them on and just dance just because. You all start listening. Tell me some of your favorite songs. I love music. I love dancing. I love laughing. And I've learned to embrace all of that. I remember when I was younger, I used to also, and I would laugh, and when I would want to laugh, there were some times when I felt like I didn't even have the right to laugh. Oh my God, I hope this doesn't bring up so many tears, but I remember as a youngster, I didn't feel like I had the right to laugh. And I would cover my face. Because for some reason, I didn't think I'd earned the right to be happy. But when I tell you all, I laugh unapologetically. I laugh unapologetically. I throw my head back. I open my mouth as wide as I possibly can. And sometimes I feel like I'm about to, or sound like I'm about to probably have, just some respiratory challenges. But I laugh from the belly of my soul. Because I have the right to do that. Laugh and don't cover your face. Smile and smile and don't close your eyes. Dance and don't care who's watching. Sing and don't care who's listening. You all tell me what some of your favorite songs. I see a Devotion by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Next Girl by Carly Pearce, but all country music. Yeah, so listen. And I tell you what, I love Motown music. I love gospel music. I love jazz music. I love it all. And I'll dance to it all. I certainly will. You all sing even if you can't hit the notes. We deserve to be happy. And nobody gets the right to try to bring you down. Nobody gets the right to try to bring you down. Be happy. Bob Marley, that music, Don't Worry, Be Happy. And then Pharrell came back with just happy. Be happy, you all. In this holiday season that's coming up, whether you celebrate the holiday or not, just because it is a festive moment and a festive mood, be happy. Some of us have worked hard to reach this place. Nobody gets to take that away from you. Hang on to the thing that you have. Hang on to the thing that takes you to the next place in your life. All right, I want to listen. Thank you all. I'm telling you, I'm only here for 1,800 seconds. So I'm not going to be here longer, but I want to close by sharing this poem with you. All right, I know this book is available over on Amazon. It's the 7th book that I wrote, and it's available over there. Let's see, it's a part of this conversation. I'm matching the book. I just realized that. I just saw that. I'm matching the book, right? But I'm telling you all, let's be happy. And let's be happy just because we can, just because we should, just because we want to. So what I want to do, I want to end by sharing this poem in another one of my books. The title of this poem, and it's in the book, Thoughts Keep Flowing. The title of this poem is If You Were to Ask Me What I'm Thinking. If you were to ask me what I'm thinking, I would say that what does not compare with where, when, and why. I'm thinking here, now, and just because I can. I think that miracles still come true. I'm thinking that moments are magical and peace is possible. I stand on hope out of nowhere and still nothing can compare because I'm thinking that I can be better and stronger. Hold on just a little longer. Go a lot faster. Disaster is not in my view because I'm thinking of you. If you were to ask me what I'm thinking, I would say, stop, sit, rest, and smile. Hear me while I say, I believe in courage and soul, staying young and growing old. I'm thinking of love that will always last, friends who will never pass, forever within my thoughts. Whistling and humming at night, I'm thinking of never doing wrong, forever doing right. Yeah, right. I'm thinking of truth, heaven, and hell. I'm thinking of pain that no one can ever tell. No one would believe the kind of heartache to achieve what I'm thinking. If you were to ask me what I'm thinking, I would say, look inside my eyes, beyond where my passion lies. If you were to ask me what I'm thinking, I would say, listen, but with your heart. I want to thank you all for spending these 1800 seconds with me. You all listen, let's just take off the proverbial mask and just show the world our greatness. Let's live in those moments. And let's just go ahead and sing and be happy just because we deserve the right to be happy. And when you reach your space in your mountain of happiness, restrict anybody's entry who dares to challenge you and intimidate you with the possibility that you don't deserve it, because you do. Listen, you all, let's do me a favor. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Stay safe, stay sane. Keep your heads up, keep your hopes up. And please know this, you all, from my heart to yours, there is, I promise you there is, and always will be so much love. Thank you and good night.